everyone, and welcome to Brainerd, Minnesota, Adamson Field 2000 prep football season and CTN coverage of Cardinals athletics. Joe Young and Howie Shapiro with you on the sidelines. And Howie, it feels a lot different today. It's about 20 degrees cooler, and it just really feels like football.
Joe, if there are football gods, this is exactly what they ordered. This is opening day weather, year 2000 for high school football. What could we ask for more than that?
And it should be interesting to see what kind of game we have. It's two good teams. It should be a good competition. But at the same time, we'll probably see both teams trying to feel out their own team as well as their opponent.
Exactly. Two rated teams. Brainerd number 3, Coon Rapids number 5. They're coming into this opening game saying, what do we have on offense? What do we have on defense? This is the night they're going to find out.
And Cardinals fans from years past, it should be a different look for the Coon Rapids offense without the big, strong running of Clay Buckberger, but they feel pretty confident with the backfield they put in.
Oh, you're going to see a new look this year, Joe. You're going to see more of an east-west type of running with John Hendricks. They're going to throw them a little bit out of the backfield. You're going to see Dan Anderson passing the ball well, but that running game will need to be established, obviously, to open up that pass.
And it will also be interesting to see how the right side of the offensive line looks for this Coon Rapids team. A couple of new players in there. The left side, almost all of them returners, so they're going to look strong on the left, but it should be interesting how the right side of the line shapes up.
Well, they'll obviously probably open up with some runs to the left, but they're going to get that right side of the line going because they have to test to find out exactly what they have up there.
And coming into the season, the Cardinals had a pretty good defense last year, but they feel even more confident about it this year.
Exactly. Coach Koppel told me that he thinks this is the best defense since 1987, and we're going to find out tonight to see exactly what they have.
Well, it should be interesting. They've got a heck of a challenge in front of them, some very big and very strong players on this Brainerd squad, and a very solid team from start to finish.
Exactly. Brainerd's trying to replace a runner that gained 1,800 yards last year, and they have a new quarterback. So on that side of the ball, they need to find out exactly what they have. They think their defense is set, but their offense needs to be tested here tonight.
Well, we'll see who passes the test here tonight. It's the 2000 Prep Football Opener coming to you right here from CTN Sports.
Introducing new frequent phone hours.
Use the phone just 8 hours a week and get this free phone cradle. Use it 12 hours and get a speakerphone.
Use it 15 hours and get this cool headset.
Or stay on the phone 20 hours a week
And get a pasty complexion.
flabby body, and a great new nickname at school.
Exercised lately?
The depth of this kid's preparation for this moment just runs so deep that there's no doubt in my mind he's very aware of the significance of this putt.
There it is, a win for the ages.
A father can change the world, one child at a time.
Welcome back, and we're about 30 seconds, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go,
and
Joe.
there is the Georges kick fielded by Taylor at the 10-yard line. He found some room, and he is going to be swallowed up right about the 25. Pretty decent field position for the Cardinals to start it.
Oh, nice run by Ricky Taylor. Was able to follow his alley up behind his blockers and certainly put a nice game behind that kickoff return.
Take a look at the Cardinal offensive lineup. That is how they will look. Josh Lundholm out on the split end. Fossum Bothine on the left side. Billy Matson at center. Eli Davis and Clint Gallipo are on the right side. Joe Yidsey is the tight end. Alkins out wide to the right. Magnuson. And here's the run. The end around for Alkins picks up about 12 yards, but there is a flag on the play, and it looks like it could probably be, it's going to be holding against the Cardinals on the first play of the game. That's a tough way to start.
Oh, that's too bad because that was a nice play, a nice end around by Jamel. He had some blockers in front of him. He had that lane. That's too bad. Every time we've talked about it, Joe, in the past, you can't let the penalties get you. That kills you. A nice gain.
So the Cardinals will get backed up 12 yards or 10 yards from. Actually, it looks like 15 yards from the spot of the foul. So it's going to be a holding. So it'll be 1st and 13, and Howie, I'm not quite sure how they marked that one off. They're going to try it again, this time going to the left side. Alkins trying to get outside and grabbing him and stopping him after just a couple of yards is number 17, Mike Zarahar.
A nice pursuit by Zahar. He wasn't going to let the speed of Jamal Alkins get in front of him. He played it a nice down the line, was able to get the angle and bring him down for maybe a 1-yard gain.
It's going to be about 4 yards. They started 1st and 13, and now it's going to be
okay, you're right.
About 2nd, and they say 10, but they're inside the 10. So Alkins with the first couple of runs, touches, and now he's Digger Anderson in there on the offense. Wide to the right now after being in motion. And Anderson on the draw play, and this is the first chance we get to see John Hendricks, and he's going to get about 2 yards before he's swallowed up.
Obviously, they're moving Digger into the position where maybe he's going to be able to catch a few passes out there from a split tight end position. But obviously there, the hole closed very quickly. Hendricks couldn't find the opening. He was only able to gain about 3 yards, make it 3rd and 7. So we'll see what the passing game brings here.
So now 2 receivers out wide to the right for the Cardinals. I formation behind Anderson. And Anderson will roll right, quick throw. Alkins wide open, and he's down at the 40-yard line. But that is a pickup of about 12 yards.
A nice play by the Cardinals. Their defense was strong right. Alkins found a little bit of hole, a little seam in the back defensive backfield, and was all alone for that pass. Nice throw by Danny. Joe, Brainerd's in a 4-3 defense, and they're playing a lot of their linebackers up close to the line. Maybe anticipating that run, not able to back off fast enough to get Jamel on the outside.
Mike Anchetta out wide to the left. Alkins to the near side with Joel Rumsch. Fake the handoff, and Hendricks is swallowed up in the backfield. 4 people there as soon as he got the ball, and he had absolutely no chance. He's going to lose about 4 yards.
The breakdown there, Joe, was the fact that the offensive line could not lead the charge in the block. Let 4 defensive players in on him, and there was obviously, you said, no opportunity to go anywhere.
And really, the play has to develop faster than that too, Howie.
And you lost about 3 yards, I believe, on that play. And they're going to, I think, make it 2, but it looks like 3 from the yard marker.
Me too. Now 3 receivers for the Cardinals, 2 out wide to the left. Alkins to the near side, and Hendricks single setback. Anderson drops back, looks right, and throws. It's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. I think it was Ryan Bender that got a hand up. Not quite sure. Chris Foy, I think. There's a look at the defense. The ends are Fox and Brown, and Means and Bender in the middle. Weiss, Marks, and Reese are the linebackers, with Zuahar and Hansen at the corners, and Karlgaard and Larson at the safeties. Cardinals into the shotgun on 3rd and 12. 3 receivers, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near side. They fake the handoff. Now a short throw to Alkins. He's got it at the line of scrimmage, looking for some room. Boys, 1 tackle, and he's close to the first down. He dives, and I think he might have it.
He's got a great effort by Alkins to get to that marker. It looked like he was going to be brought down a couple yards short, but he just used his speed, quick burst, and was able to get a little bit out of the tackle and dove over the first down line as they mark it off right now.
He's going to have it just by about half a yard, so that's going to be a pickup of 13 for Jamel Alkins. Good misdirection play for the Cardinals. Worked out well, and they will come right to the line of scrimmage, not wasting any time. 2 receivers wide to the right this time in an I formation behind Anderson. A lot of people up towards the front, and here's an option. Anderson with the ball. Now he pitches in a fumble. and it is recovered by the Warriors, and they will take over just inside on their side of the 50.
Well, that's a very dangerous play for the Cardinals. I think the better option would have been for Danny just to keep the ball. He had a number of defenders around Hendricks, so basically when he tossed the ball back, Hendricks obviously had to be aware that the ball was coming to him, but he was going to be hit immediately. He just could not find the handle on that pitch.
And really not a very good pitch. It was a little high and hits Hendricks in the right shoulder pad. You can't quite see it there before it's gone.
Well, you know, you look at that play defensively, they had 2 defenders on Hendricks, so he would have been marked for a loss had Danny just gone and taken the ball down.
So 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line, and the Cardinal defense steps up right away and stops the halfback Mike Weiss for a loss.
Well, you know, Joe, this is going to be a test for this defense because we talked about in the opening of the show that Coach Koppel feels this defense is the best unit he's had since 1987. We're going to see a lot of blitzing. We're going to see some fast athletes here on this team. And look at the combination of cornerbacks and free safeties. A lot of speed out there.
Now an I formation, receivers either side for the quarterback, Bill Tadish. They hand off again up the middle and nothing there. This time Adam Hardy trying to find his way through, and he's going to pick up about a yard, maybe back to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, one of the things that Coach Koppel told me is the key to the game is control the line of scrimmage. Obviously,
2 yards.
These defensive players are controlling the line of scrimmage, not letting the Brainerd runner really gain much. We're talking 1 yard in 2 carries. There's a look at Coach Koppel as he surveys the field, looking at his defense for the first time in the 2000 season.
And this is the first 3rd down for the Warriors, and it's 3rd and long, 3rd and 9. Receiver out wide to the right is Tim Sykes, and in motion. And the fake handoff play action. They find Sykes over the middle, and he's through the defense, and I don't think anybody's going to catch him. He's in for the score. A 54-yard touchdown to open the scoring for the Warriors.
Well, the Cardinals gambled on that play. They blitzed a cornerback, a linebacker, and they left a nice seam open in the middle of the defense. A beautiful pass under a lot of pressure by Tadic as we take another look at it. And watch here as the pressure as Nienaber comes around from one side. Now, you couldn't see the pressure, but a beautiful pass right in the middle of the seam. And there was no coverage there up with the ball, and he was able to take that in for the touchdown.
Just about midway through this first quarter, and things not going the way the Cardinals had hoped, already turning a ball over and then giving up a quick strike to a strong team. Out to attempt the point after is Georges, and he will try and run it in, fake the field goal, and he will be stopped. So it will be 6-0.
Well, let's see what happens as the course of this game unfolds, Joe. That may be a very important missed extra point for the Brainerd Warriors. We'll see, but they capitalize on the turnovers you mentioned. They make a quick score, and they jump out here in front of Coon Rapids by the score of 6-0.
And so we will have to see the Cardinal offense have another chance to take the field and hopefully do a little better this time.
Well, the first couple of plays, the offense looked a little bit shaky, but they seemed to get it up until that turnover. They seemed to get the gears on all cylinders. But now you're right, they're falling behind by a score of 6-0. They really have to move this offense here. And they've got the capability of doing so. They just have to get that turnover out of their minds and get back to the game plan.
Mike Helgen is the deep back for the kickoff. Just in front of him are Digger Anderson and Ricky Taylor. Helgen will stand at about the 8-yard line. And the kick from Georges, we saw him roll it up the middle on the opening kickoff. And this one doesn't get a lot higher. Bounces a couple of times. Helgen has some trouble and still doesn't have a hold of it. And the Cardinals are going to start deep in their own end at their own 7-yard line.
And a nice play by Mike Weiss, number 40 for Brainerd, as he had an eye on the ball, obviously came and hit him quickly, was not going to allow a return there. So the Cardinals are going to have to start out deep in their own territory.
Oh, I think that's the 13. I was making things worse. I thought that was the 5-yard line. So I was a little off,
You're
a little rusty.
You gave him 8 yards.
It's all right. There we go. They will start 1st and 10 from their own 13. I formation for Dan Anderson. And a whistle before the snap. And that can't mean good things for the Cardinal.
That's going to back them up another 5. The Cardinals just need to get the butterflies out of their system here. Obviously, it's the opening game of the season. Both teams obviously are excited to get this game underway, but the Cardinals need just to know that they move their game plan, move the ball, and I think they want to try and establish a run here.
Howie, they're going to start at the 7-yard line after all.
Gee, you were right originally.
And it's going to be 1st and 15. And this is where the loss of Clay Buckberger will be felt, because you could hand it off to him and you were almost guaranteed that he would move the ball at least a couple of yards. This time they go up the middle with Magnuson, and there is a flag in the backfield again. Magnuson stopped after a gain of about 1.5 yards, but I don't think it matters as the flag came out in the Cardinal backfield, and I think we're going to see
a motion penalty.
A legal motion against the Cardinals. That'll back them up half the distance. And already in the first quarter, we're looking at 24 yards of penalty.
Not the way you want to start this ball game, Joe.
A fumble and a long touchdown strike against you.
Well, the key is if they can obviously shake this off and get this offense moving, because anytime you get a couple penalties back-to-back, that puts a little question in your mind. But they know that they've got the skilled players to move this ball, so that's all they have to do is continue to follow that game plan.
And Brainerd actually declines the penalty, so the Cardinals will start 2nd and 15 now from their own 8-yard line. Oh, this time they're going to hand off to Hendricks, and he's going to be swallowed up after a gain of about 3.
They're trying to hit that quick opener as Hendricks gets quickly to the hole, but the defense closes that hole just as quick for just a 1-yard gain.
And now the Cardinals with 3rd and long from deep in their own end. They're looking at 3rd and 11 from their own 12-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side are Alkins and Anchetta.
Watch Alkins maybe on the quick out.
Rolling out the throw to Alkins. Nice grab and a 1st down at the 25-yard line. And that is a pickup of about 13.
And that was good coverage on that play. It was a nice throw by Dan. Alkins really beat his man by about a step. He closed pretty quickly, but a nice catch by Jamel to bring that down for the 1st down.
Good start between those two, as we have seen them convert 2 3rd and longs already. They're Anderson 3 for 4 early on for about 40 yards. This one up the middle to Magnuson is going to pick up about 2. Going to give him to the 34, so it's actually a pickup of about 4.
What we're going to see is not only this game unfolds, Joe, but as the season unfolds, what kind of a running attack the Cardinals can establish. Are they going to be able to run the ball up the middle, or are they going to have to rely more on that speed to the outside?
And this time they fake it to Magnuson. It works well. Anderson finds his way for a 1st down to the 40-yard line. That's a pickup of 12.
And that's called controlling the line of scrimmage. Blockers opened a nice hole for Danny. He did the rest of it as they were able to push the defenders to the outside. So we're going to take another look at that here. Watch the defenders, watch the blockers open up a nice hole for Dan.
And once again, we see that experienced left side of the lineup for the Cardinals doing a nice job.
Now they opened the game running the ball to the right. Obviously now we'll see them maybe run a little bit more toward the left where their strength is.
This time they do hand off to Magnuson, and he's going to be stopped right away. Pick up of about a yard.
Obviously, Joe, if you establish the run, Brainerd knows that Coon Rapids can pass the ball. The biggest question mark is whether Coon Rapids can continue to run as they did last year. Obviously, we talked about different styles of running back, but running the ball opens up the passing game. And as we've seen a couple of times, Dan Anderson hitting Elkins with some nice out patterns.
Single set back now, and 3 receivers to the left. Coming in motion to the near side is Magnuson. Handoff up the middle, and a big hole for John Hendricks, and he will pick up the 1st down, I think. Be very close.
He may be a little bit short on this run, but certainly that hole opened quickly, and the speed of Hendricks showed there as he hit that hole very quick, was able to get that almost for a 1st down. Watch the hole in the middle as he follows his blockers. A nice control the line of scrimmage for the Cardinal offensive line, and Hendrick's speed does the rest to get him close to that first down.
And now 3rd and short for the Cardinals. And the wishbone formation in the backfield with Digger Anderson leading the way. Jamel Alkins the single out the side, and Anderson quickly across, easily picks up the first down, a pickup of about 4 yards.
Well, you knew Digger was going to get that ball in that play. He wants the ball whether he's on defense or on offense. That was a nice 3rd down play for the Cardinals. Establish themselves, continue this drive moving. Followed up by a nice run from John Hendricks.
Cardinals 3 for 3 on 3rd down so far. And now the I formation returns behind Anderson. Fakes the handoff to Hendricks, rolling right, hot pursuit, throws it, nice grab by Yitzi, and that's going to be another first down, this one, for a gain of, where are they going to place it, at about the 28. So that is going to be a pickup of about 20 yards.
And what that play did, Joe, obviously, Jamel went long. He drew 2 receivers over to him, opened up the middle there for Yetzi to get that pass. We take another look at it. Nice rollout by Danny. Just finds Yetzi open alone in the flat, and he does the rest with the ball after the catch. But Jamel pulled 2 defenders out away from it.
Hendricks stopped right away. Looks like they're going to actually give him a loss of about a yard on first down.
We watch both number 40s on the defensive side of the ball for this team. Weiss is all over the field. He is right in the middle of the play, as is Digger, is number 40 for Cardinals when he's in there.
Shotgun formation now is Dan Anderson. 2 receivers out wide left. He'll roll that way. Throws. Alkins is open. Makes the catch. Cuts back inside. Picks up a couple more yards. He's down inside the 10. And that is going to be a pickup of about 21.
And that's what the defense has to respect, the field, the speed of Jamel Alkins on that play. He was able to stop, made a nice cut move to gain some extra yards after the catch.
So the Cardinals now with 1st and goal from the 9. Just inside the 10.
Defensively, the Warriors are playing 2 men on Alkins. They're playing him on a cornerback and getting help from the safety. So that's obviously going to open up some holes if he is double covered.
Strong side right for the Cardinals, but they will fake, and then Hendricks hops over on the right side down to about the 5-yard line. That'll be a big pickup of about 5.
Well, Joe, obviously after a rough start by the offense, the Cardinal team is getting back into the feel of this game with a nice sustained drive against this Warrior defense. You know, Brainerd finished 9-2 last year. They had a respectable year, lost only 2 times, both to Alexandria, once during the regular season and once in the playoffs.
And Alexandria finished high in the state.
Yes, they did.
So in playoffs, they lost 19-14.
Both losses were very close.
Option to the left, and Dan Anderson takes it in for the score, untouched from 5 yards out.
Again, behind the left side of that offensive line, the linemen really are controlling that line of scrimmage, opening up the holes. Whether it's Hendricks, whether it's Magnuson, or whether it's Danny Anderson, they're opening the holes for them to gain that positive yard.
Great drive for the Cardinals. They started at their own 13-yard line and then backed up to their own 8. So it started off slow, but then 92 yards reeled off by the Cardinal offense, and in for the score, and they'll tie it up. And now they can go for the lead. Robert Costi to attempt the extra point, and we have a whistle and a flag, and that's going to be motion against the Cardinals. Still one of those early season mistakes that we're seeing a little too often for Coon Rapids.
Well, no doubt about it. And these are, you know, obviously they played last Saturday in a controlled scrimmage and looked sharp. And this is when you play for real. Even it's a non-conference game, but you're playing one of the better teams in the state as the ratings come out. So these are obviously a tough test for this Cardinals squad.
Take another look at the touchdown, and these fakes working very well for the Cardinals early on. Look at Magnuson get swallowed up in the middle, and Anderson walks around the left side untouched. Here's the attempt now. It is up, and it is no good, so a tie game at 6 apiece. with 2:17 to go first quarter.
Well, the Cardinals were able to try and draw first blood in terms of being in the lead, couldn't convert the kick after the penalty. So again, penalties come back and they hurt you in this game. Here's a good look at the Cardinal fans that have come up here for the game, for the opener.
A lot of people making the journey.
Well, you're talking about a long weekend. School starting next week. Obviously, everybody's excited, getting back into the spirit of high school. And we've got a good crowd.
And we got bluffed a little bit, Howie. The Brainerd coach bragging about 3,500 people coming to the game. Not quite a realization tonight, but it's still a very solid amount of fans.
A lot of fans here, and I'm actually a little surprised that it's not a little more crowded. Obviously, with the long weekend, people are out of town, but season opener, this is the time where you come watch your team. But it's a nice crowd here for Brainerd.
Yeah, I don't think it would be good for the Cardinals to allow the strong contingent of Warriors backers to really get into this game.
No, and
they were in danger of that after the long touchdown and then the penalties and the poor start to that drive.
Well, it started with that turnover that the Cardinals gave up, and obviously they were able to come back and get back into this game. But now we'll see where the defenses, I think, will hold the key to this game.
Here is the kick. And it bounces in and out of the hands. And now picked up and Zahar does a nice job on the return after it was dropped by Severson. And he gets it up to about the 32. So again, decent field position for the Warriors to start in.
And a nice tackle by 38 Ben Mossberg for the Cardinals, as he was able just to grab a hold of the ankles and drag him down. Otherwise, they may have gotten a few more yards out of that kickoff return.
And this offense has only been on the field for 3 plays. Then the big strike to Tim Sykes, the wide receiver. In motion is number 29, Dan Kirkpatrick, and they'll try and run to the left, and that is, again, stopped very quickly by the Cardinal defense.
And that is a huge hit by Digger Anderson, as he just... Maxfield, I think that was Digger on the tackle. We'll maybe get a chance to see that if we do have a replay. But if it was Maxfield or Anderson, he came across and hit him very hard. That was Maxfield.
And that's going to be stopped basically right at the line of scrimmage. So a no gain. Oh, they're going to drop him back a yard, so 2nd and 11. And the Cardinals going with the single safety in the back, bringing a lot of guys up front. 5 guys on the line, and that's tough to run against as they're finding out quickly. Weiss stopped in the backfield, and the Cardinals doing a great job against the run so far, but we've only seen 1 pass, and it went 53 yards for the touchdown.
Well, obviously, Coach Botch told his unit that you gave up a big play. It was missed coverage. Keep this defense strong, because that one play certainly gave them the advantage in the beginning, but the strong play of the defensive line and the linebackers are obviously making it tough for Brainerd to move the ball.
This time they'll try the option, and that stopped just as quickly.
Looks like Maxfield
this time,
again.
I think it was Zach Nienaber.
I think it was Maxfield and Nienaber on the tackle, both.
It's going to be a pickup of 1 yard for the quarterback, Tadish. But that is going to make it 4th and 10. And a great job by the Cardinal defense. And I would imagine a punt is forthcoming.
I think so.
And
boy, Weiss,
it looks that way. They're going to line up Weiss as the punter, and back deep for it is Alkins. Alkins standing at his 35. High snap and a whistle, and this, I think, will be the first time we've seen a call against the Warriors.
I think it will. I think there was movement on the line. But certainly that Mike Weiss has a lot of responsibilities for this Warrior team. Plays on defense, plays running back, and now is obviously doing the punting. So they count on Mike Weiss, number 40 for Brainerd, quite a bit in this scheme of their offense and their defense and special teams.
Just 7 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And now Alkins up to his 45-yard line. Here's the punt. It's long. He's backing up, and he will step away and let it be down And a good roll. The Cardinals will start from their 24-yard line, and that will do it for the first quarter. The Cardinals 6, the Warriors 6. CTN coverage of Cardinal football from Brainerd, Minnesota, coming back right after this.
You're mine. Chicken.
McGruff here. If a bully is bothering you, play it smart and try to talk it out. Or get away and tell an adult.
Well done.
For more tips, write for my new free comic activity book. Play it smart and help take a bite out of crime.
I see sky.
We are back in Brainerd. The Cardinals and the Warriors all knotted up at 6 apiece after the first quarter, and really a strong quarter for the Cardinals on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely. Besides the one big pass play that they gave up, the defense really is hitting and sticking on this. Their linebackers are moving in. Their defensive line is really fending off the blocks of the Brainerd offensive line. And the offense in that second and third series really got the ball moving for the Cardinals.
And the Cardinals doing passing game, working out excellently. Dan Anderson, 5 for 6 for 79 yards, and they start out the second quarter the same way. Complete to Alkins. He fights off some tackles, and the ball comes out. They're going to say that the Brainerd team recovered, and that is a tough turnover for Coon Rapids.
Well, the old adage is sometimes you can do a little too much, and Jamel may have done a little too much there, trying to get that additional yardage, and obviously the ball popped out. The Cardinals lose it. That's going to be their second turnover of the game. Now the defense needs to step up again.
Would have been a gain of about 16 yards, but instead the Warriors will start from the Cardinal 45.
And it was a great pass play. Jamel made a nice move after the catch, but there are a number of defenders around him and enough to get somebody got a hand in on the ball and to pop it loose.
Handoff is up the middle, and once again stopped quickly. 40 meets 40 in the middle as Weiss came through and was hit immediately by Digger Anderson, a pickup of about a yard.
Right now the Warriors cannot get their ground game going. They're trying to put some pressure up the middle against this Cardinal defense, but the defense is standing tall in this against this challenge, and so far they're playing well. We'll see what happens if Tadic can see if he can get some room to pass here a little bit, but so far against the run, they're not able to establish anything.
Wishbone formation this time. They hand it off up the middle. Handoff goes to Brandon Kramer, and he's going to pick up, it's Jeff Goodman going up the middle, and he picked up about 5 yards.
Well, the key to running the ball like that is the strength of the offensive line and pushing the defense back. Obviously, the defense of the Cardinals is putting more pressure on than the offensive line for Brainerd, and they're not allowing much yardage in terms of that run up the middle.
So now 3rd and 5 for Brainerd from the just inside the Cardinal 40. And Tadic looks to throw left side, and a flag, and it was intended.
That's going to go on against Joel Rumsch. I think he held the receiver on the pattern on the out there, and I think that's exactly what they're going to call.
And that hurts. Sykes knocked down before the ball got there.
They tried to run a go pattern, and it looked like that may have, had he not been touched, maybe it would have gotten to the ball. But Rumsch got there a little too quick, pushed the defender or the offensive man out, and obviously right in front of the referees, they saw it, and that's going to go against the Cardinals.
15 yards and a first down puts them at the 25-yard line of the Cardinals now.
Too many penalties. Too many turnovers right now in this game for Coon Rapids. Obviously, the score is tied, but Coach Koppel, obviously, these are the things that Coach Koppel does not want to see.
So first and 10 from the Cardinal 25. The handoff is over the right side, and it looks down to about the 10-yard line, a pickup of 15 yards for Jeff Goodman.
Nice blocking on the right side of the line for Brainerd. They open up a nice hole, and Goodman was able to get through it. Brought down by Joel Rumsch.
And now first and goal for Brainerd from the Cardinal 10-yard line. Wishbone formation again. Handoff left side this time. And stopped after a pickup of a couple is Mike Weiss.
Well, that quick hit up the middle for Brainerd just does not seem to be working for them. They're getting more success if they go to the outside. As you saw in the run before the last one by Weiss. We'll see if the Cardinal defense can stiffen up here as they're inside the 5-yard line, or inside the 10-yard line, or right at the 10-yard line, actually.
They're fake the play action, and the pass is down at the feet, incomplete.
That play was slow to develop from the outset. Looks like Tadic could not really see over the defense on that play, and he threw it into the ground.
And now third and goal for the Warriors. See if the Cardinals defense can bend but not break.
Now let's see what
Weiss coming out to the near side.
Brainerd has in
Lined
store.
up at the tight end is Tim Severson rather. He's in motion, goes left. They're going to look that way, and it's well overthrown into the back corner of the end zone, incomplete. And that'll bring up fourth down.
What they tried to do, obviously, is make the defense think they were going to run the ball up the middle and throw to the outside, but certainly that throw was not even near being complete. And it looks like they are going to go for it.
Well, as we saw, the kicking game not exactly working so well for the Warriors, as they had to try to run in their first extra point attempt.
Well, I think the snap was a little bit high in that first extra point attempt, but I think this is a situation where you have to practice your kicking game.
And Brainerd's going to take a timeout, and maybe they'll talk it over and think the same way you do. I don't know.
Well, you know, obviously it'll put them up by 3, but at this point in the first game of the season, you're going to have to rely on your kicking. At one point during the year, you're not talking about a 40-yard field goal. You're talking about something in close. I think you have to try it.
Well, so far, we have not seen the Brainerd Warrior defense really be able to stop the Cardinal offense. Really, the Cardinals have been stopping themselves more than that.
It's the turnovers and the penalties right now. Certainly the turnovers and the penalties right now is what's hurting Coon Rapids. They're moving the ball offensively. They're playing well defensively, and that is something that they'll have to continue to work on as this game progresses.
Well, so far we've seen a great passing game from Coon Rapids, and the two fumbles are really what have killed both their drives. And so far, it led to the first score and could lead to the second score.
Well, without a doubt. No, but the point is, obviously, they're trying to establish that run as well. Even though the passing game is clicking, you got to be able to establish that run to continue to have that passing game be successful.
And now we see two receivers to the left. They'll roll that way, and coming through with a great sack in the backfield is Maxfield.
Beautiful. I mean, Maxfield saw that hole as they were trying to run around the left end. Obviously got in the middle of it. Big play. I think that's a mistake on the Brainerd's part by not trying that field goal. We'll see if that comes back to hurt him.
Maxfield comes through totally untouched and just wraps Tadic up and drops him for a loss of about 5.
And that's the key, is the fact that he wrapped him up, because you don't want to let him get away in a situation like that. You want to make sure you get him down and take that ball over.
So the Cardinals starting from about their own 15-yard line. Digger Anderson in motion from left to right. Hand off to Hendricks, right side. He fights forward for about 2.
Offensive line, the right side of it, opened up a small hole for Hendricks to get through. It closed pretty quickly as he was able to pick up 2, maybe 3 yards on that play.
So tough to tell when they're so far to one end, Howard.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to give Hendricks 3 on that one.
Let's do it.
Say it's 2nd and 7. 2 receivers out wide to the near side this time. Fisher out there with Alkins, and they hand off to the right again behind Hendricks. He keeps on his feet, and I think he's going to have a first down. Yes, he is. A pickup of about 8.
Hard running by John Hendricks, and I like offensively what the Cardinals do. They line a couple of receivers far out to the outside and allow that run to go to the right. I think there's going to be a flag against, a face mask against the Brainerd Warrior squad. I'm not sure who did it. We'll see in this
And a nice job of lead blocking out there for the Cardinals.
I think that was James Beck, maybe number 41, who got his hand in there on Hendricks' face mask. Touched it enough to get the draw the attention of the referees, and they called the play.
So the Cardinals will start 1st and 10 now from their own 30. Single setback is Hendricks. Magnuson in motion to the left, and Hendricks runs into his own blocker and another fumble. And again, we see Brainerd picking it up. And once again, we see the Cardinal offense killing itself.
You can't do that, obviously. I mean, I don't have to tell you that, but you can't turn the ball over if you want to win the game. This is the 3rd turnover by the Cardinal squad. Fortunately, they're tied at this point, and their defense have been playing very well and keeping Brainerd out of the end zone, but you can't continue to turn the ball over and expect to win a game.
Last drive, the first time we've seen this Brainerd offense on the field for more than 3 plays. The first 2 times they touched the ball, they went 3 and out. Of course, the first time that 3rd play was a 53-yard touchdown strike.
I see Coach Koppel on the other end of the field taking his offense over and having a little talk with them.
Receiver out wide to the right, and the option play, the pitch, and a hit by Jamel Alkins coming up from the safety spot, and that's going to be a loss of a couple of yards. That was Adam Hardy on the pitch.
That's what happens when you have that kind of speed on the outside of your defense.
Oh, they're going to say he picked up about a yard.
Maybe about a yard, but look at the speed here of Alkins as he's coming across, following that pitch all the way across the field. Makes a nice tackle, gets him down around the ankles, makes sure he brings him down for about a 1-yard gain.
And then Digger wraps him up just for good measure.
Make sure he stays down.
Now we see Sykes out wide to the left. Man in motion. And the handoff to Hardy, and he's met in the backfield again by Dane Maxfield, and he is all over.
Dane Maxfield is playing an exceptional game here tonight, and this Cardinal defense is not fooled by anything that Brainerd is doing at this point. Whether they're trying to run to the outside or in the middle, this defensive line combined with the strength of their linebackers just keeping it to a negative gain.
They're going to say he just lost the 1 yard, so it'll be 3rd and 10.
Watch for maybe a quick pass to the outside for Brainerd.
Man in motion is Severson moving right. Tadic drops back, and exactly that. Knocked down beautifully, well executed.
That was Lee Sorcelet for the Cardinals, knocking that pass down, but the Warriors tried to get to the ball to the outside. They had a receiver lined up far left. Tadic tried to get it out to him, but beautiful play here by Sorcelet as he's going to knock that ball down.
Sorcelet did an excellent job. He immediately recognized that Trevor McCullough was in pass formation or pass blocking, and when he saw he couldn't get to the quarterback, he just jumped up, put his hands in the air, and he knocked down the pass.
Well, Sorcelet is 6'1", 235. Trevor McCullough, for his 330 pounds, he did a great job on him.
So he's a small guy is what you're
saying.
saying.
Yeah, a little guy.
Play action, looking to Weiss on the left side. He's open. He makes the catch, and it's a touchdown from 28 yards out.
Well, that's just a lapse on defensive coverage for the Cardinals. They were not able to get Weiss coming out in coverage. A nice pass by Tadic as he led it right into the end zone. Are they going to go for 2 here?
I would have to imagine. And Tadic just got behind both the safety and the cornerback on that left side. And he had to slow up just a little bit, but there you see Ricky Taylor 2 steps behind. And Tadic, or Sykes rather, catches it, falls into the end zone. and they have the 12-6 lead with just under 7 minutes to play in the half.
Well, you know, Ricky had coverage on the inside. Pass was going to the outside. He had to completely turn around, thus not being able to really get up there in time to cover that pass. So obviously, perfect pass right in the corner of the end zone, touchdown for Brainerd.
And with the way the Warriors are running their offensive scheme, they're doing a lot more running than they are doing passing. So the play action coming into effect, and that's kind of how Weiss was able to get, or Sykes rather, was able to get behind the defense.
He really was, and you know they had 2 men over on that side of the field. Obviously, it was a good pass, it was good execution of that play, and it worked for 6 points.
Our next televised game, we'll be doing some volleyball against Champlin Park Rebels. Some Northwest Suburban Conference action, and it's going to take a while before I get used to saying that.
We'll get there, Joe. But yeah, you're right. With the change in the new conference this year, we have to make sure that we say it right.
That game just on Tuesday of next week, the 5th. Replays midnight of Tuesday, and will run for a couple of days. Of course, don't forget to catch the premiere of the 2000 season, and there's Sykes open for the 2-point conversion. And that was kind of a lapse on defense.
Well, Ricky Taylor, I think, was supposed to cover that guy, but let him out open. Ricky tried to make up some ground, but obviously couldn't. They fooled the defense. They did something there to bring him into the middle, as that was an easy 2-point play for Brainerd.
Sykes was out there all alone. So far, he's the only guy we've seen catch the ball, and he's got 2 receptions for 80 yards. And look, Ricky Taylor, a good 4 or 5 steps away, is the closest defender for the Cardinals.
Again, Ricky turned a little bit to the inside on that play, but I think was there a penalty on that?
It looks that way, and the Cardinals get a bit of a reprieve.
That was a break.
Holding penalty, backs him up 10 yards, and that actually plays in quite huge at this point, I think, for the Coon Rapids Cardinals.
Or if this play you continue, they're obviously going to go for the 2 points again, but obviously backing him up gives the defense the advantage here, a little more field to work with.
You almost know that it's pass now, too.
Well, without a doubt. Especially with the way that this run defense for the Cardinals have been playing here.
Yeah, they're 15 yards away from the 2-point conversion. I formation in the backfield, and he'll look to right. Sykes is over there, the throw, and Sykes still makes it over the outstretched hands of Joel Rump. And they still get the 2-point conversion.
Again, you know, you have to figure that it's going to come to him. They've been throwing to him every time. I think on defensively, what you knew is to play him a little bit closer, but obviously a nice pass by Tadic into the corner, and Sykes brings it in.
And I guess I'm of the school that I think he should have been. They should have had somebody bugging him off the line.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You got to have a 5-yard bump, and Rumsch came close with that outstretched hand, but not quite enough. And right in the back corner of the end zone is Tim Sykes. He's got 2 touchdowns. He's got all 14 of the Warriors' points, and it's 14-6 with 6:53 to go in the second quarter.
Look at a happy Brainerd Warrior player, Mr. Sykes, as he makes a nice catch to bring that 2-point conversion in. But on that situation where they've been going to the outside, you maybe bring a corner over and bring help on a safety there. But Joel was all alone there, not being able to get up to keep up with him.
Georges gets a good kick this time, fielded by Alkins at his own 10-yard line, looking to get behind the wedge. And not a whole lot of room. He's going to be stopped at about the 24. And that's where the Cardinals will start with 6:47 to go in the half.
Well, Joe, obviously turnovers have led to both scores, and that's the key to this game so far, because the offense has been playing well, the defense exceptionally well for the first game of the 2000 season, but you've got to cut down on your turnovers because the Cardinals are now in a hole because of them.
A lot of penalties on both sides of the ball so far, too. 2 receivers wide to the left, I formation behind Anderson. He'll go with the option, and here's the pitch. Hendricks running for the sidelines, being chased hard by Weiss. And Weiss wasn't giving up a lot, but he did pick up, it looks like, about 4 yards, maybe 5.
Well, the speed of Hendricks obviously got him to the outside there.
Yep, about 5.
Well, again, they're going to say 4, but obviously the Brainerd players had cut off the angle, not allowing John Hendricks to really turn the corner. Just get enough for that 4-yard gain to the sideline.
2nd and a long 5. That's what I'm going to call it.
The long 5.
Near side receiver is Haugen. And this time they run up the middle with Magnuson, and not a lot of room for the Cardinal running attack that time. Going to be a pickup of about 2.
Getting a little frustrating.
A yard and a half, maybe.
A little frustrating in the trenches there as you see a couple of players starting to go at it.
Cardinals are 3 for 3 on 3rd down so far, though.
Well, you know, we've talked about their offense is playing well. They just have to hold on to the ball.
2 receivers out wide to the right, I formation in the backfield, and 2 tight ends. Nope, only one on the left side. Anderson throws, it's tipped and knocked away just before it got to Jamel Alkins. Zahar knocking it away, breaking that one up.
Oh, Danny not happy with himself on that play. Rolling right and throwing right into coverage, trying to force the ball in there to Jamel.
And the Cardinals will punt on 4th and about 4 from their own 30-yard line. And there we see number 40 for the Cardinals in for the punting, and they're asking a lot of that man, too. He goes for the sidelines, and it's not going to go far. That's going to be about an 18-yard punt in great field position for the Warriors. They're going to start from the Cardinal 49, maybe 48. Looks like the 49, so about a 19-yard punt for Digger. 19-yard punt for Digger Anderson.
You'll get it out.
Easy for me to say.
Easy for you to say, but I don't think that's quite what Digger had in mind. Is he got the ball, shanked the ball really off the side of his foot.
Well, he obviously turned his body towards this sideline, and it looked like wanted to angle it, but I don't think he wanted quite that much angle on it.
I think you're right. Those are the kind of punch where you hope it takes a nice bounce down towards their end.
So now the Warriors with an 8-point lead and the ball from the Cardinal 49. Handoff is, no, it's a fumble. And the Cardinals are pointing their way. And the refs are going to say the ball that it was down.
I think Tadic recovered his own fumble. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He lost the handle of the ball. I think he just basically bounced the ball, bounced up, and he fell right on it.
But he is going to get about a yard out of the deal. So even though it was a little mix-up, yep. I think there was a little miscommunication on that, whether he was supposed to hand it off or not. Yeah, and Tadic just never quite lost it. Kept it in front of himself. Nice job of keeping that ball. Whistle and
little equipment fixing there.
You gotta snap that helmet. That's Brian Burke, the center. Wishbone formation in the backfield. And the pitch is to Hardy. He's going out. Taylor dragging on his jersey will bring him down, but he is able to pick up about 4, maybe 5 yards on the carry. We'll see where they mark it. That's going to be right about 4 yards. We'll set up 3rd and 5.
Well, that was close to a hole there. Number 29 for Brainerd, Kirkpatrick looked like he was going to get a hold of a jersey there, but thought about it at the last minute. There's the defensive coordinator, Don Bosch, for the Cardinals, screaming out instructions to his squad.
Now watch the receiver to the near side. That is, or far side actually, and they did come near side, and I think getting Tom Newman looked like he was close to the ball. I don't know if he got a hand on that or not.
I think they're playing with you. They're purposely changing sides for you, Joe. You think one guy's on one side, but I think that was obviously it was a miscommunication. The receiver ran the wrong route, and fortunately for Brainerd, there wasn't a defender there to pick that ball off.
Tom Newman was trying though.
He was trying because he had a lot of open field if he were able to grab that ball. Sometimes the easy interceptions are the hardest ones to make.
And now we see Alkins back deep, standing at his own 15, and Weiss with the punt. Ty, Alkins coming out, and this one's going to bounce and roll down and out of bounds. And about the Cardinals 17, 18-yard line. And that's where they will take over. 3:39 to go in the half, and trailing by 8.
That was a nice punt too. Obviously, Jamal was not going to touch that one as it floated off to the out of bounds line. But here's a situation where we've got 3 minutes, 39 seconds left in this half. Cardinals want to mount a drive. They're trailing by 8 points. Their offense has been moving the ball. They just haven't been able to hang on to it, as we mentioned earlier. And this is something that I think that Dan Anderson's going to want to correct.
And this is also where the coin toss comes into play. And the Cardinals are going to take a timeout. Didn't like what they saw as Dan Anderson was in the shotgun and Chetta was in motion. But didn't like it, so they'll take a little timeout. This is a very crucial time for them.
Yeah, I think so. And I think what they're going to try to do is get the ball to Jamel on some sort of a out or maybe across the middle situation where they're going to let him gain some yardage.
And as I mentioned, this is where the coin toss is going to make a bit of an effect. The Warriors rather won the coin toss and deferred their choice to the second half. So the Cardinals took the ball to start the game, but you've got to think with not a huge lead or in a tie game or behind, the Warriors are going to want the ball. Almost any situation, they're going to want the ball to start the second half.
Absolutely, and that's why it's important for the Cardinals to try and move this ball in the time that they have down the field, because certainly with plenty of time left on this clock, they want to be able to put some more points on the board before the halftime.
And now 3 receivers in, 2 to the near side. Rumpsch in motion. And they will run the draw play. Hendricks off the left side, and he's able to pick up a handful out to about the 24. Looks like about 5-yard pickup for Hendricks.
Seeing a hurry-up offense for the Cardinals, as they've called a number of plays before they went to their original huddle. Danny's going to line up
again. 3 receivers. Alkins out wide to the left. Rumpsch and Chetta to the near side, and Anderson in a whole lot of trouble, and he is going to be sacked.
Now that looks like Chris Foy, even though we have 250, I think it was 51 on that play. Even though we have 251s on our Warrior roster, I think that was Chris Foy.
I think Henrik Impala, number 19, was in there as well. Either way, first sack of the game. And now Anderson looking to throw on 3rd and long, and he airs it out, but way over the head of Mike Anchetta. And now 4th and long, and here comes the punting unit for the Cardinals.
Well, what you want to do is obviously in a situation you want to get a good punt off here because you don't want Brainerd to put any more points on this board before the half's over. But a little disappointing, I'm sure, by the offense in there. They wanted to move the ball. They couldn't get going on that last series, and I think that that certainly we hope will not play a big part in this game.
Digger Anderson punts this one a bit straighter into the middle of the field. It is fielded, and running right with it is Jason Larson. He's forced out of bounds. But great field position for the Warriors with just better than 2 minutes to play. Got a Brainerd player down on the field.
That was a nice block by number 38 for Brainerd. That was Matt Means, as he got the angle on Jason Weber for the Cardinals. He was coming over to try and make the tackle, allowing a little more positive yardage to be gained on that punt return.
Can't tell who is down. I think it's number 35, Tyler John for the Warriors, but I'm not positive.
I'm looking to see. I thought that's maybe a 6.
And it could be a 9.
So it'll be a 96.
96, that'd be Ryan Bender. And he's the starting defensive lineman for the Warriors, and that's who it is.
That's who it is.
And evidently in not too serious a pain.
Well, I think he is. They're going to carry him off the field.
Yeah, it looked kind of odd the way they picked him up, but keeping the pressure off of the leg, and that could be big for.
Well, I don't know if that's a knee or if it's an ankle.
The Warriors.
He's in a lot of pain. You can see that on his face.
He's in the middle of the screen. Oh, kind of gets rolled over by one of his own guys with his leg all stretched out. And on 1st down, Tadish keeps it on the option and picks up. It looks like they're going to give him about 5 yards. Make it 2nd and 5 from just inside the Cardinal 30-yard line. Time ticking down to 1:45 to go in the half. Brainerd leading by 8. This time Tadish will hand off over the right side, and a whole mess of Cardinals there as they force the ball out, but they're going to say the ball was down. It was Dan Kirkpatrick on the run.
And great pursuit by the Cardinal defense there, just not allow them to get anything. And that's obviously a swarming defense. Make sure this runner does not get away. Unfortunately for the Cardinals, the ball was down before it came out, and they did not recover that fumble.
It's going to be a loss of a yard. Bring up 3rd and 6. Yeah, good call by the official. The ball didn't come out until after he was on the ground. But 2 receivers on the far side. The man in motion to the right. And a handoff over the left side will pick up a couple.
On that last play, it was great. It was great effort by Joey Cullen to bring that ball carrier down, make sure he did not gain any yardage. And then the Warriors come back and try that play up the middle too.
Goodman picks up about 3 yards. That'll bring up 4th and about 3.
I was going to say to gain a few yards, but they did give him 3.
It looks like they're going to give him 4 and call it 4th and 2. Either way, a big play right here for the Cardinals. Well, or for the Warriors. We're down to just about 10 seconds to go, and now they will call timeout with 10 seconds left on the clock and a 4th down play coming.
Oh,
so I'm just, call me strange, but I think I'd cover Sykes pretty strong.
Well, as I said earlier, what you have to do is you give him double coverage. This is a guy that's going to catch the ball in a crowd. You got to bring your cornerback and a safety over, making sure you play 1 in front, 1 behind, making sure that ball does not get in there to Sykes.
And something we haven't seen yet, not one time has Sykes caught the ball and then been hit by that safety from behind. Hitting him, you've got to get inside these guys' heads a little bit, hit them, let them know that if they're going to catch the ball, they're going to get hit.
Well, you got to make sure that you hit them when it's legal to do. You don't want to hit him too far down the field, obviously, but I think the coverage is the most important.
Oh, I think as he catches the ball, I'm saying he needs to get hit.
Oh, without a doubt.
He's got 2 passes. That's all they've completed is 2 passes, both for touchdowns. One 53 yards, the other one 26.
Better yet, not let him catch the ball. I think that's even more important. Just make sure that you cover that man, especially with 10 seconds left.
Well, it comes down to this. The Cardinals already trailing by 8. This could put them down by 14 or even 16 points going into the half, and that could be big. 3 receivers in. Sykes is out far left, and that's all he looked at, but he ain't going to have time to get it off. A big sack, and I think, let me see who that is, Joe Cullen. Nope, not Joe.
That was Sorcelet. I think it was
Sorcelet, yep.
Yep. And that's a second big play that we see. We saw him knock down a pass earlier and saw him make a nice sack there.
And it leaves 6 seconds on the clock, so the Cardinals have one shot, and I think we're gonna have to see it airing it out. And he went to.
Joey Cullen really with a nice pancake block, or I should say block, but forcing the offensive line down. He ran over him, put a lot of pressure in the middle there, forcing that sack.
Yeah, see, I saw Joey in there. And here's Dan Anderson airing it out. Jamel Alkins complete out to the 50-yard line. It's a pickup of 28, but will be all for naught as that will end the first half. And the Cardinals trailing by a score of 14-8 at the hands of the home Brainerd Warriors. And there you see it, large contingent, 14-6 rather. A large contingent of Cardinal fans came all the way up, and so far, Howie, not a great half, but we saw some good things.
We saw a lot of good things, and we saw some bad things as well. There's some aspects of the game that Coach Koppel is going to go back to the second half and work with on his squad. Mostly hanging on to the ball. You have to put the ball away. You have to tuck it in. You can't risk that turnover because both of the Brainerd scores were results of turnovers by the Cardinals. Obviously, this is a close game at 14-6. The Cardinals, we'll see, as you mentioned earlier, how important it is that Brainerd will take that ball and see what they can do. Obviously, important that the defense will then come out and be able to stop them and see what the offense can get going.
Well, and we will take a short break and be back right after this with more from
to myself, what a wonderful world.
If you're not recycling, you're throwing it all away.
This is going to be a real test. And they're off. They're really into it. Jenny takes the lead to page 2. Uh-oh, Johnny's eyes are offsides. He's back on sides. Good call on Johnny's part. Oh, looks like forward passing going on. Let's look at that again. No, she'll be completing this one on her own. So get it in your head. Next time you're tempted to cheat, don't. Do the work. Take the test. Listen to the ref in your head. Cheating is a personal foul.
I just want to say thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Big Tobacco, for convincing me to smoke.
And this filter just makes me feel so safe. Thank you, Big Tobacco,
For singling me out as a main target.
I can be beautiful and have big, strong men by smoking.
Thanks, Big Tobacco, for causing impotence in young men.
You hear that?
I hope you feel really good about that.
Not having a soul.
Thank you, Big Tobacco.
Cancer sticks and shove them up your... Thank you so much.
For killing us.
You've been targeting us for so long. Now we're gonna target you. I love you guys.
As the American military gets smaller, who will be there to answer the call? They will. They're the National Guard and Reserve, and they make up half of today's military forces. As an employer, you may be asked to support their mission. Remember, their response depends on yours.
It's my birthday. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, I told you, don't be bringing that weak stuff in here. Yeah. Who's the man? Who's the man?
Exercised lately?
Don Adamson Field here in Brainerd, Minnesota. We're at halftime between the Warriors and the Cardinals, and the Cardinals really looking pretty decent other than a couple of things, turnovers and penalties.
Absolutely. Offensively, they're running the ball, and Danny Anderson's having a good game passing. Defensively, they're plugging up the middle. They're really not letting Brainerd do much except for those passes to the outside. It's the turnovers that are killing them. I could live with the penalties. I think it's the turnovers that are killing them.
And let's take a look at how they're happening. This is just one of 3 fumbles in that first half for the Cardinals. And Dan Anderson, this is going to be the first one. And the Cardinals' first possession, this is how it ended up. A pitch from Dan Anderson gets a little high, bounces off the shoulder pad of John Hendricks. And the Warrior defense kept him away from the ball. Zahar kept him down. And after they went down and scored on that one, on a 54-yard pass, the Cardinals marched down. This capped a 92-yard drive for the Cardinals. Dan Anderson taking it in, and then they missed on the extra point. And that really kept the game even at 6 apiece. Both teams missed the extra point the first time. But really only 2 big plays, 2 real plays for the Warriors in that first half. Both of them passes from Tadic to Sykes for touchdowns. 2 complete passes in the game, 80 yards, a 53-yard strike, then a 27-yard strike. This is the 27-yarder that put them back in front, both for touchdowns. They only have 2 first downs through the first half.
And more importantly, Joe, both of the scores that Brainerd has made, both of the scores has come off of turnovers. And that's obviously the point of the game. You can't give the ball away. You just can't do it.
And Brainerd has come out and had great field position every time. The Cardinals starting a lot deeper in their own end, something they're going to want to try and turn around in the second half. But most importantly, they got to hang on to the ball.
Without a doubt. And their offense is moving. The key will be here exactly what Brainerd does with the kickoff they choose to receive, which I'm sure that they will. The defense key, stop them, give the ball back to the offense, and make sure that you control the ball and get down and score.
And a big kickoff is very important, because a big kickoff is important because the Cardinals want to get the Warriors back deeper in their end and see what happens when they have to deal with a little bit worse field position.
Exactly. And we talked about what the Cardinals need to do once they get the ball back is just hang on to it. What Brainerd needs to do when they have the ball is see if they can open up their running game, because obviously outside on the pass is where they're getting their most success. Coon Rapids is really defensively keeping the middle bottled up. So obviously what Brainerd needs to do is to try and find a little bit more different way to move the ball.
Well, really, and things clicking a lot better for the Cardinal offense than it is for Brainerd. The Cardinals with 66 yards on the ground on 17 carries. 17 carries for Brainerd, too, and they only have 29. So the Cardinal defense doing a really good job of keeping the running game bottled up. Passing game, the Cardinals, 107 yards on, I think, 6 completions. 2 completions for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns is what kept the Warriors in front. And of course, the key stat, 3 turnovers in that first half for the Cardinals.
Exactly. So obviously what the Cardinals are going to have to do when they get the ball back is, regardless, obviously they're going to have to score, but they're going to have to try and convert that 2-point possession to see if they can get back into 14 all.
And that's going to be a big factor right there. That is Ryan Bender, who went down, twisted up his leg right near the end of that half, and he is a starting defensive lineman for these Warriors, so that could even help the Cardinals' running game out a little more.
Exactly. Obviously, that's going to be a big loss for that side of the defense. Anytime you take a starter like that out of the lineup, hopefully his backup, hopefully for Brainerd's sake, his backup can fill that position. But there's a weakness that the Cardinals need to work on in terms of going to that side. Their weakness of Brainerd in terms of working on going to that side of the line.
We will take a short break, and we'll be back with your second half from Don Adamson Field in Brainerd, Minnesota.
Don't you love that safe, free feeling you get in a pickup truck, Larry?
Yeah, nothing but you, me, the open road, a deer.
Yeah! A cow! Yeah! An ostrich! Ah! The village people! The village people?
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Especially in pickup trucks.
I didn't know the village people were doing a road tour.
We're back at Don Adamson Field, and a new factor for the second half. As you can see, a little bit hazy, a couple of raindrops hitting our camera there, and not raining really hard, but it is definitely coming down. It's going to make things a little bit wet, a little bit slippery, and could further the Cardinals' troubles as far as hanging on to the ball.
Well, absolutely. Well, we'll see Brainerd with the first opportunities. They're going to receive the kick here in the second half, and as we touched on, defense, defense, defense. Make sure that they stop him here offensively and regain that ball and trying to get the momentum back on their side early here in the second half.
And the Cardinals fumbles. There's a look at head coach Clayton Koppel, and he is probably more upset about it than anybody else. But interesting to note that the 3 fumbles being charged against 3 different players, and they are the 3 key offensive players for the Cardinals. Their quarterback, Dan Anderson, their leading halfback, John Hendricks, and their top receiver in Jamel Alkins.
Exactly, and these are hands players, guys that are able to hold onto the ball. So this is not typical of what Coon Rapids football is about. These are the things that I'm sure Coach Koppel talked about during the halftime. Guys, put the ball away. If you're going to get hit, just make sure you don't drop that ball.
And the first one we saw there in the halftime was the Dan Anderson pitch that was a little bit high, and really that was mostly a mental mistake on Dan's part. Should have just tucked it down and gotten as much as he could. He was already past the line of scrimmage, but he doesn't, and it results in the long touchdown. And now we'll see Jamel Alkins kicking for the Cardinals to start the second half. Zahar is back deep for the Warriors, and it'll bounce at about the 20. He'll field it at the 10. He's out to the 25, cuts to the left, out to the 30, and he's going to be hit and taken down at about the 37. And once again, the Cardinal special teams a little slow getting down the field, giving Brainerd excellent field position to start the second half.
Exactly. Brainerd was able to form the wedge, and Zahar ran behind that. Got good speed, has good field position, and obviously on the special teams, you've got to be able to stay in your lanes, make sure you get down there. You can't let them get that kind of field position to start this second half.
Well, we'll see what they do. They start 1st and 10 from their own 37. And here we see Sykes out wide to the right, and the wishbone again in the backfield behind Tadish. And they roll to the right. Tadish running the option. He'll hold on to it, and he'll be stopped at about the 38. So just pick up 1, maybe 2 yards for Bill Tadish.
Good pursuit by the Cardinal defense. They really took that option away from him by making sure their defenders were covering down the sideline. And certainly Tadish, really all he had the opportunity to do was to tuck that ball away and make sure that he went down with it.
I think we're going to call that a 2-yard pickup for Tadish. Make 2nd and 8.
Andrew Carls, number 93 for the Cardinals, in on the tackle.
And once again, we see Sykes out wide to the near side. Jason Georges out wide to the left. And the I formation. Sykes over the middle on a slant, and that'll be good for the first down. Out to about the 48. That's going to be a pickup of about 11 yards. And that is only the 3rd first down for the Warriors. There, you see the numbers for Tadish, 3 of 7 for 91 yards. And they hand off this time up the middle to Hardy. To Hardy, and he's going to grab himself a couple. And Brainerd trying to move the ball on all cylinders to start this second half. That's going to be pickup. Hard to tell where they're marking that. It's going to be pickup, I think, of about 4. 3, 4?
I think they're going to
give him 4.
They give him 4. You know, offensively, the Warriors are coming out with a really different look with the exception of that last play. They're really getting away from that run in the middle. They're trying to spread the ball out amongst the field a little bit more than they were in that first half, trying to maybe trip up this defense a little bit.
Strong to the left side. Now the man in motion is Severson. And the handoff. Nope, they're going to go with the option again. This time Tadish very close to the first down before he's wrapped up by a couple of Cardinals.
I think he's going to be about a yard short, maybe 2. Now they're going to come out for a measurement a little bit closer than I thought originally. We're going to be just a little bit short.
So that is
about an inch short. I would expect a run up the middle, obviously, in this situation. Cardinal defense really has to remain strong, but this is a tough down to stop when you have just about an inch to go.
And the Cardinals defense doing excellent on third down so far. The Warriors just 1 of 7 on third down conversions.
The key to stopping this, if it is going to be a run up the middle, is penetration, and if the defensive line can push the offensive line back enough to get something in the backfield.
They go off the left side to Goodman, and he is easily across for the first down. He's going to pick up right down inside the 40. So it's going to be a pickup of about 4.
Well, this is a key series for the Brainerd team, because obviously with an 8-point lead, it would be to their benefit, quite obviously, Joe, to score in this play, and they're trying to move the ball a little bit differently than they were in the first half. We're going to see, we saw a pass, couple of runs to the outside, a few runs to the middle, mixing it up just a little bit more.
1st and 10 from the 39. They're passing near side. Sykes comes down with it, and a flag on Joel Rumpf.
There's going to be a face mask at the end on the tackle. Rumpf being beat here, and trying to bring the ball carrier or the receiver down, grabbed his face mask on the way down, so we're going to see a replay of it right now. Tadic setting up, going back to pass. They're looking for Sykes all over the place. He's not even looking off at any other
I don't think he's looked at anybody all night, really.
And here comes the pass. As you can see, the rain coming down, and it's just, he just went up over Rumpf to make a nice catch.
And Rumpf goes after the ball.
And grabs.
And this is the exact place I'm talking about. Rumpf needs to hit him when he goes up, let him know he's there, make it hard for him to catch the ball, but you don't necessarily need to go after the ball. So now it's 1st and 10 from just inside the Cardinal 15, and they're rolling out left, and the pass is incomplete, nobody home.
They've tried that particular formation a couple of times. Tadic unable to hit that receiver on the outside. Good coverage by the Cardinal defense to stay with him. Ricky Taylor on the play. And the Warriors are going to have to set up and try again.
Bring up 2nd and 10. Hard to tell exactly where they are, but it looks like about the 14.
I think it was going to say the 14-yard line, yeah.
So it was just a 5-yard penalty.
Well, there's a better look. You can see they're just on the other side of the 15-yard line.
And here we see that wishbone in the backfield again. And quickly in, but the handoff got through, and Hardy runs it in, 14 yards for the touchdown.
Good movement by the offensive line of Brainerd, pushing the Cardinal defenders out of the way, and strong 2nd and 3rd effort by number 42, Adam Hardy, for Brainerd, gets the score, and that's going to put Cardinals in a bigger hole than they are. Just another look at it. Look, watch the offensive line. Missed tackle there, but offensive line really a nice surge.
There's good penetration, and but not able to stop him. Anchetta dragged into the end zone. And now 20-6 in favor of the Warriors. They're going to take a timeout again. As they set up probably for another 2-point conversion.
Oh, this is a great place for a 2-point conversion. Obviously, you're up by 14, so if you miss it, you're talking a couple of touchdowns, or you know, you're going to force the Cardinals to go for that 2-point play. But this is a good situation for them to try and go for 2, whether you make it or you don't.
That drive took up just over 6 minutes of this 3rd quarter. 8:54 on the clock. Windy, and it looks like the rain has stopped, but just enough rain fell to make it a little slippery out there. And wind picking up will affect the passing game, of course. Looks like Georges will line up to try to kick the extra point, 1 point, and it's up and it's through. No, it's not. It's no good. So 14-point lead for the Warriors.
So I don't understand that. Why not go for the 2-point play on that?
Especially since your kicking game is lackluster at best.
If they're not going to take that one earlier in the game, why do they go to this one, and why do they not go to for the 2-point? But
well, I
nonetheless,
think part of it, Howie, has to do with what you said earlier. You've got at some point during the season, you are going to need that kicking game to be effective for you, and you need the practice. And here they really didn't need the extra point, so a good time to practice with the kicking game.
Yeah, but I think that if you make that 2-point, you force Cardinals to score 2 touchdowns and extra and two-point plays because you fall behind that.
Yeah, but once again, we talked about it from the very beginning of the game. It's the opener. They've got to find where their strengths and weaknesses are and try to kind of develop the areas that they need work in.
I understand that.
And I can almost guarantee you that this kicking game will be a lot better at the end of the season. Picking the ball up off the bounce is not sure who, but they're fighting their way through, and they will be stopped at right about the 25. I think that was
Ricky Taylor, I think.
Okay, yep, you're right. I couldn't tell what the number was. Didn't want to say it was the wrong person. But either way, better field position than the Cardinals have started with so far in this game. Start from their own 25. 8:46 to go in the third quarter.
Well, what we talked about had to happen in the first half certainly did for Brainerd, and that puts the Cardinals in a little deeper hole.
Hand off to John Hendricks right up the middle off the bat, and he's going to pick up, looks like about 7 yards.
I think, yeah, 7. They're going to say 2nd and 5, but he certainly gained more than 5 yards on that play.
Oh, yeah, that's 7 yards if I've ever seen it.
That's 8. They're going to give him 8, I think. Here's a look at Dan's passing for the day of 6 out of 10 for 107 yards in the first half. Looking to improve on those numbers as the second half here.
Well, they're going to give him 8 even.
Give him 8 yards.
2nd and 2 for the Cardinals. Receivers either side. And Anderson on the play action, rolling out, in trouble. He gets away from it, but then is buried by a couple of Warriors.
Well, Dan got away from the first tackler, but just couldn't escape the pressure.
Matt Means was the first one there. He gave him all the trouble. And I didn't see who it was who actually took him down. I think it was probably Bob Brown. I wanted to say it was 96, but Ryan Bender is on the sidelines with the twisted up knee.
Well, the protection really breaks down here as Dan gets away from him.
And there it is. That's Bob Brown, and I'm not sure who was on the other side. And now a quick pass to Alkins on the left side is complete.
I think he's going to get the first down. Gained, I think, by about a yard.
And that was on 3rd and 6, so a completion of about 7 yards for the first down.
And I think the Brainerd defense here in the second half is reacting a little bit quicker to what the Cardinals are trying to do.
That's a look at Ryan Bender. Certainly not the way oh, and here's a timeout as we have extra people coming onto the field at the last second. And that was Eric Magnuson coming in, and Dan Anderson doing the right thing, calling the timeout and making sure that they've got the right personnel on the field.
Now, these are small mistakes that you make, and these are things that, timeouts are very important, and you cannot afford to waste those when on a play where there's a botched call or too many men on the field.
Especially when you have 1st and 10 and you got things moving. The drive seems to be alive. A tough time to take the timeout, but at the same time we've seen Brainerd kind of burning through their timeouts so far in this game. So that. At this point, though, it's going to be the Cardinals who are going to need their timeouts come the end of the game.
Exactly. Trailing by 14, what they're offensively trying to do is establish something. They're trying to run the ball. Obviously, Dan's been passing well, and certainly the key here is not losing your head about you when you're in this game, because there's plenty of time left. There's plenty of things to do offensively, and they have been moving the ball in this Brainerd defense.
So now we see the I formation with Anchetta to the left and Alkins out wide to the right. They've got a tight end in on the left side, and he is in motion. That is Yidsey. And there's a flag on the play in the Cardinal backfield again.
That's going to be movement. I think the receiver jumped a little bit early on that play, and the backfield umpire called it.
Hendricks did pick up a couple on the run, maybe about 2. But once again, we have a Cardinal penalty. And we haven't seen the Brainerd defense stop the Cardinals yet. Cardinals have stopped the Cardinals.
Exactly.
And,
well, that was motion on the play. I think the receiver on the near side moved just before the ball was snapped, which was kind of interesting because the referee in the backfield called it, not the one on the side.
So now the Cardinals will have to start first and 15 from about their own 27.
Well, what they're doing too is the defense is really taking Jamel out of the game. They're double covering.
They're on 33.
They're double covering him, as we can see here. They're putting a cornerback and a safety in the middle. But now it looks like he may have some single coverage. Now they're moving the ball back at this point, but he may have some single coverage here, and this may be an opportunity that Dan can look for. There is a deep safety, number 18, Dan Karlgaard, but Jamal's all alone. We'll see how this play unfolds.
Yeah, Mike Zahar out there, single coverage. Alkins not able to get to it. And Dan Karlgaard was coming over to help out and almost got a hand on it, but not quite.
Well, Jamel had actually the receiver beat. It was a tough pass to make. Danny threw a nice ball, just couldn't get it there on time.
Put it where the defensive backs couldn't get to it, and Jamel just couldn't quite get there. And so now it's 2nd and 15.
Well, those are the opportunities that when you see Jamel on the outside all alone, if you can get the good protection, take advantage of it, get the pass there. He's got the speed to beat the defender.
Again, single coverage out there, and this time the option, rolling right. Dan Anderson hit after he picks up, looks like about 5. He's back to about the original line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up 3rd and long.
Now this is obviously a passing situation for the Cardinals, where they want to put receivers strong on one side and see if they can break something open up, maybe either over the middle on a quick strike or something on the weak side, off to the sideline.
3rd and 10 for the Cardinals from just about their own 35-yard line. 2 receivers on the near side, 1 to the far side, a single setback. And a lot of pressure. They set up the screen, and it is incomplete over the head of Hendricks.
Certainly good defense by the Brainerd Warriors on that play, really not allowing the screen play to develop. Danny had a tough opportunity to try and get it out there, but whether he would have been able to get the first down, I'm not real sure. There was a number of defenders around the ball. So it's going to obviously bring up another punting situation for the Cardinals. Not the situation they want to be in here. They wanted to be able to move the ball down here, trailing by 14.
High snap. Digger fields it and gets off a good high kick. It will bounce and be scooped up. And a good coverage downfield by the Cardinals. Only gives up a couple of yards. That was Luke Ferda on the... or Jason Larson, one of the two. I'm going to go with Jason Larson. There are 2 34s on my roster, but I'm going to guess that's Jason Larson. But a risky field off the bounce, and Ricky Taylor downfield in a hurry, able to get there, and did most of the tackle on his own, but then got a couple of guys to help him out at the end.
Well, it was a very risky play, Joe. On a situation like that with a 14-point lead, I think you let the ball go. He had an opportunity. He made a pretty good catch, but if that ball had come out and the Cardinals recovered it deep in this territory to put him right back into the game.
Ricky Taylor really showing his speed. He was down there really before the ball was. This time they try to run off the left side with Dan Kirkpatrick, and he's only going to get a couple.
Maybe a yard on the play. But that is a weakness that they have right now is the running game in the middle. The Cardinal defense is really putting the pressure on them, not allowing anything in that part of the game.
So now 2nd and 9 from their own 36. Wishbone formation is in behind Tadish. Sykes is the receiver out to the far side. And the option, Tadish will keep it himself, and he's going to be about 2 yards, I think, shy of the first down, a pickup of about 5.
Okay, this is going to be an awfully big 3rd down for the Cardinal defense. If they can remain strong and stop them here on 3rd and 2, get the punt back, they're going to get pretty good field position with plenty of time left in this game. But this will be a test for this Cardinal defense.
They're going to give him 6 yards on the carry.
If I
set up 3rd and 3.
They need to watch the quick one to Sykes on the outside.
They're going to hand it off, and Goodman will dive across the 45 for a first down to pick up a 4 yard. Nope, it was Hardy on the carry.
Just enough to keep the drive going. And Brainerd here is obviously grinding the yards out, knowing they have the 14-point lead, trying to take time off the clock, continuing to try and run the ball up the middle against this Cardinal defense.
1st and 10 from the 45. Sykes coming out wide to the near side. Wishbone formation in the backfield behind Tadish. Handoff is to Goodman again, and once again, he picks up a bunch. He's out across the 50 to about the Cardinal 49. Pick up of 6 yards.
Nice hole on the right side opened up by the offensive line from Brainerd as they were quick off the ball, got that handoff in a hurry, able to pick up some nice yardage for the Warriors.
So the Warriors now into Cardinal territory, 2nd and 4. We're just under 4 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Handoff is to Weiss, and he goes nowhere. He's going to lose a couple.
Joey calling in on the play. Obviously, he smelt that one. He wasn't going to allow him to get anywhere. That'll make it 2nd down and 5.
3rd down and 5.
3rd down, I'm sorry.
They're a little slow on the scoreboard.
Apparently so am I.
Sykes out wide to the left this time.
Ricky Taylor in lone coverage out on Sykes as he's playing him close to the line.
And all kinds of trouble in the backfield. It looked like Dane Maxfield might have him for the sack, but Tadish able to get away and get the pass off complete for a pickup of only a couple. On the catch was the tight end, Matt Means.
Nice pressure by the Cardinal defense, not able to wrap Tadic up, and obviously Tadic made a nice play to get the ball off, but it's going to be well short, and it's going to force the Brainerd Warriors into a punting situation. And that's what the Cardinal defense needed, is stop
They're
him
only
here.
going to give him 1 yard on the pass.
Are they going to call a timeout? I think there's a little miscommunication on the Brainerd sidelines. They quickly get a player in.
Seth Owens hustling in from the sidelines. And now they have 11. Punt is going to go off way to the sidelines and take a Cardinal bounce out of bounds right around, looks like the Cardinal 30. So decent field position for the Cardinals to start.
Now again, offensively, they want to obviously establish something, but with time running down in this 3rd quarter, a little over a couple minutes left, they've got to mount a good drive here because they need to score. If they could score before this 3rd quarter ends to get back into this game, that would be a big plus for them.
Cardinals will start 1st and 10 from just inside the 30. 3 receivers in, Anchetta to the near side, Rumsch and Alkins to the far side. Single setback is Hendricks. Play action, he's going left, Anchetta complete. He turns the corner and he's got some room, cuts back inside the 50 and he's breaking away, but taken down just inside the 25 by, who was that?
That was Mike Zahar. Mike Zahar was all over the field, but a nice move to the inside by Anchetta, allowing him to gain all that extra yard.
A 46-yard reception.
Got around the corner after the initial catch, turned on the burst of speed, realized that there were defenders coming in on the sideline, cut it back up to the middle of the field, and a nice tackle by Zahar to come across the field to bring him down. Otherwise, he may have been gone.
He was close to breaking away, picked up a great block downfield, and able to cut it back and pick up some yards after the catch. Hand off to Hendricks, and he's got some room. He's going to be looking at another first down, or very close.
About a yard, maybe about a yard short, but again, a nice run by John Hendricks. He's able to find a nice hole, turns on that burst of speed, picks up another 6 yards after that first initial movement through the hole.
Take a look at that play by Anchetta.
Now watch the move after the catch to the sideline, and then watch the move in the middle as he sees the defenders coming out.
Watch the block he picks up from Joel Rumsch, too. Very much helped him break out, and and very speedy. Here's Hendricks again up the middle, picks up the first down and inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. It's going to be a pickup of about another 8.
Well, exactly what the Cardinals need to do is to make this drive count. They're mixing it in well. A nice pass, obviously, a couple plays before, and a couple strong runs by John Hendricks, getting him inside the 10. First and goal. We'll see what the Cardinals can do here offensively. Putting it in here brings them right back into this ball game.
I formation now, and Chet out wide to the near side, and Alkins out wide to the right. Play action. Here's the pitch. It's a little high. Hendricks reels it in. He's hit, but he keeps going. He's forced out of bounds. Just looks like about the 4-yard line, so a pickup of about another 4 yards. And that one was a little scary, Howie.
A heads-up play by Hendricks, though, to really gain control of the ball. That could have been a very dangerous situation as you watch here to the pitch. Deep pitch to John Hendricks.
And a little high.
A little bit high, but he brings it in, and a good play to get out of bounds, too, to stop the clock, which I think was a very important play.
And a nice job of working off of the first hit by Dan Karlgaard. Now we see the 3 setback formation with Digger Anderson in there, and Magnuson and Hendricks. Hendricks will get the ball. A couple of lead blockers, but not a whole lot there. A couple of guys got hands on him before he hit the line. It's going to be a pickup of about 1. For about 20 seconds left in the third, and now 3rd and goal.
I think they're going to let this run out, bring it down to the far end of the field, and see if they can punch it in on the next play. There's less than 10 seconds in. I don't think they're going to be able to get this one off. Maybe.
I don't think so either. 4, 3, 2, 1.
They got it off.
They got it off. And Hendricks is slammed in the backfield. That was Weiss putting a big hit on him. And it looks like he's going to get right back to about the line of scrimmage. But that will do it for the third quarter. The Cardinals.
It's going to be a big decision when they come back. 4th and 2. Obviously, you go for it. We'll find out after that.
I think you have to, Howie. You have to go for it. So a huge play coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Siggy, you didn't leave a light on anywhere, did you?
Maybe. So what?
So what? So what? That's a waste of energy! Now you know I am a mad scientist. When someone wastes energy, it really makes me mad.
Please don't waste energy. It's a positive solution that will reduce air pollution.
Welcome back. There's the Brainerd sideline, and they've got to be eager to see what's in store. This, a very big play. The ball on the 2-yard line, 4th and goal for the Cardinals, trying to cut in to a 14-point Warrior lead.
Well, Joe, this is the play of the game. This makes this game right here. If they stop them here, that is a huge play for the Brainerd defense. And obviously the Cards, we'll see what they do here. If they do a
two tight ends in.
Quick one up the middle, which looks like they could.
Digger Anderson is in as a tight end on the right. Yitzi on the left. Play action. Digger Anderson, wide open, touchdown.
Beautiful play. Nice call by Coach Koppel.
Now, see, I could have told you that play was coming because I watched him work on that play in practice, and I said that I saw Digger lining up at the tight end. I was thinking that play might be coming.
Then why didn't you say it, Joe?
I didn't want to jinx it.
But that was certainly a great play by Coach Koppel. As he had him fooled, they thought that the play was going to go up the middle. Beautiful play by Digger, just got wide open. Danny just very calmly tossed him the ball for the touchdown. And they're going to go for the extra point here.
Now, we will see what the Cardinals have as far as a kicking game. Robert Koski in. Anderson gets the snap down, but it's no good. So the Cardinals trail by 8. But they're definitely in this game.
They're definitely in this game. It was a little bit of a high snap from center as they had to put the ball down very quickly. Tough to get them off in that situation. You got to hit it perfectly in order to get it through the uprights. Look at this. Look at the way this play is executed, though.
And watch, Digger, he's blocking. He releases on his man, and nobody pays any attention to him. And there's the football. He's all alone in the end zone. And that puts the Cardinals right back in this one. And once again, very important to see the Cardinals get a good kick, stick the Warriors deep in their own end, and force them to punt the ball.
Exactly. Well, obviously, again, defensively, the pressure lies on Coon Rapids here because now trailing by 8, you're back into this ball game. Some of the momentum is swinging back to your side. You've got to continue on a roll and make sure that defense plays well. Does not let Brainerd get any positive yardage on this possession for them.
Jamel Alkins set to kick off. Back deep is Mike Zahar. And a good kick. Zahar backing up. He'll pick this one up right about his own 5-yard line. Coming up the middle, now cutting to the left side, and he is dragged down. Good tackle. I didn't see who made it.
That was Jason Weber, I believe, number 37, who just really flew across there. Was not going to let Zahar get any more yards than they had. Just a great tackle by Weber.
Not bad field position for the Warriors, though. They will start out 1st and 10 from their own 25.
Here's another look at it as we're going to see Weber come flying across, and Zahar trying to get some yardage here, but watch number 37.
I think you're wrong. It's number 39. That's Ben Moth or Eric Utes.
Sorry, Eric, I gave you
full backfield for the Warriors. Handoff straight up the middle, and Goodman's got room to run. Finally brought down after a pickup of 21 and a first down.
Well, that was one of the few times that play has worked for Brainerd here tonight, but certainly came at a great opportune time for them. As a nice run here. Big hole opened by the offensive line of Brainerd.
Jeff Goodman really has been the only back that's been effective. He wasn't listed as a starter, but so far he's had a couple of long runs, one for 15, one for 21 yards. Picked up at least a couple of first downs, and there's a fumble, and the Cardinals have the ball.
There's the big turnover that comes back for the Cardinals, and that's obviously an inopportune time for Brainerd as the Cardinals are awarded the ball. Big play by the Cardinal defense to get the ball, turned it over to the offense. Now let's see what the Cardinals can do, and Dan Anderson leading this offense for
Cardinal crowd is excited, and now the Cardinals crowd is getting into this. They're a small but dedicated bunch, the Cardinal clan. They came all the way from Coon Rapids, made the 2-hour drive to follow the team, and if they could be a factor in this game if they're able to turn it up and get behind their team.
Well, absolutely, and they're a very vocal crowd. And now, with the momentum had switched back to the Cardinals. With that, it gave them a little bit more momentum. We'll see what the offense can do here.
And not much of a rest for the offense. They come out quickly with the 3-receiver set, and Dan Anderson in the shotgun. He's rolling right. There's pressure. He's hit as he throws. Weiss coming in on the blind side and just nailed Danny as he threw the ball, and he's slow getting up.
He is getting up. He's a tough kid. He's a great athlete. But Weiss came in untouched here from the outside, and Dan just couldn't get the ball off in time. But nice play by Mike Weiss to really hit Dan to alter that pass.
And really, he's there half second earlier, and that's a fumble. Anderson just barely getting the arm going forward as he was being hit by Weiss. So now 2nd and 10 for the Cardinals. Anchetta and Alkins out wide to the left. Yidsey is the tight end on the right side. Magnuson and Hendricks in the backfield. And the handoff is to Hendricks. He's got some room. Picks up about 4, maybe 3.
So that's going to make it about 3rd and 7. Obviously, an obvious passing situation. Really, the Brainerd defense has been doing a pretty good job on keeping Jamal Elkins quiet here, putting a couple of men on him, but they're going to have to find, obviously, a way to get the ball away from him, work on the weakness there, because they're bringing an extra man over to cover him.
He's only had a couple of catches here in the second half. He's had 2 catches for about 35 yards. And now he's lined up wide to the right. I formation again. Play action. They throw to the left. It's over the head of Digger Anderson. And short of Anchetta as Dan was hit again right as he throws. And he is in some pain and he is upset.
I think he's more upset than in pain. But, yeah, he was hit hard. He saw the opportunity to get the ball out there. Just couldn't do it. And I don't think he's feeling too good right now. He's taking a couple of back-to-back big hits by these Brainerd Warriors, but he's running off.
So and he's slow getting off now.
Yeah, you can see.
And moving over to the trainer. He is in some pain, and that is not good.
Not good at all.
Flags coming out before the ball is snapped.
Movement. I didn't see anybody move, but apparently the referees did.
So the Cardinals unable to capitalize on the Brainerd turnover and have to punt it away. Digger Anderson from his own 40. Good punt. Will bounce out of bounds inside the 10, maybe even inside the 5.
I think it is inside the 5,
that
right
is
down at
beautiful.
the 5. Beautiful punt by Digger Anderson. Obviously, in this situation, what you need, back them up, put the pressure on the Brainerd offense.
And this is the first time we've really seen the Brainerd Warriors with their back to their own goal line.
Absolutely, and this is the kind of situation that this Cardinal defense wants to be in. They want to be able to pressure Brainerd, force them in maybe to another mistake, and see what they can do down deep in that territory.
And we will see definitely a running situation, I think, for the Warriors, as they will start, hard to tell where that yard marker is, right about the 5, though.
Yeah, I think it right is
full
about the 5.
backfield, and Sykes out wide to the right. Handoff is up the middle. Looks like it went to Weiss, and he's going to pick up
about 3, I think. They're going to give him 4. Looks like 4 yards.
And now it's right on the 10-yard line. I can see that, so looks like they started on their 6.
That would make sense.
2nd and 6 from their own 10. Cardinals put a lot of guys up front, and they run right. Adam Hardy, and he is going to be out for the first down, a pickup of about 7.
Well, obviously, the Warriors want to grind this out, move the clock down as it goes under 10 minutes now left in this contest. Cardinals trailing by 8 points, unable to capitalize on a turnover earlier in this few minutes ago in this 4th quarter.
So 1st and 10 from about their own 18. And now we have the movement on the Brainerd side of the ball, and that's a good break for the Cardinals as the Warriors seem to be gaining a little bit of momentum.
Well, no doubt about it. Obviously, it pushes them back to about the 13-yard line, and that's going to push them back a little bit more. Maybe a hopeful, well, is it going to be a 10-yard? No, it's going to be a 5-yard penalty. So this defense obviously will continue to try and pressure and stop this run, because that's exactly what Brainerd's going to do. I don't think you're going to see them pass in this situation. Joe's up here doing a little chicken dance for everybody.
Hey, we got the funky chicken going on. We got a good crowd and a large amount of cheerleaders keeping them in the game. They run up the middle and a fumble again, and it looks like the Cardinals have it inside the 20-yard line. Well, now they have to capitalize this time.
Exactly what we talked about is the fact that the Cardinals' pressure defense caused them to turn the ball over. Inopportune time, well, of course, there's never an opportune time for a fumble, but certainly in this part of the game, inopportune time for the Warriors to turn the ball over. Is Dan back in there? Yeah, Dan is still in there, so he's...
and he seems to be jogging out pretty confidently.
I think a lot of that was frustration. Obviously, a couple of back-to-back big hits that he took. But
looks like they'll have 1st and 10 from about the 15. High formation in the backfield. Alkins out wide to the left hand, Chetta to the right. Back, quick pass, over the head, and it was intercepted in the end zone. And once again, Dan Anderson got hit, and he's slow getting up.
It looked like Alkins was limping a little bit too, but it looks like he got cut off. The receiver cut him off in his route, just stepped in front and picked that off. A lot of pressure here by the defense as Dan hurled that ball towards Elkin.
Kind of lofted that up, and he got tangled up a little bit with Zahar, and that allowed the safety to come in and make the interception. That was Dan Carlgard, number 18, made the interception for the Warriors.
A lot of turnovers.
They will start from their 2-yard line.
A lot of turnovers in this game on both sides.
Again, they try and run, and nothing happening. The Cardinals defense en masse push the runner back.
That's called swarming to
Adam Hardy.
Swarming to the ball carrier, but how many opportunities are the Cardinals going to be able to get back into this ball game? The clock is under 9 minutes. They've had a couple of back-to-back turnovers that they could not capitalize on. And this is a situation now where it's getting closer to the end of the game that they're going to have to step up if they want to get back into this and try and win it.
Loss of 4 brings up 2nd and 14, and they got to watch Sykes. He's lining up wide to the near side. Ricky Taylor out on him. And the full house in the backfield. And the play action rolling out and falling. And being covered by the sack by Zach Nienaber. And who else was out there? Was that Sorcelet again?
I think it was Sorcelet again. Looked like number 32.
That's his 2nd sack of the game, or a sack and a half anyways.
There's no time to panic at this situation. There's plenty of time left on the clock. Defense is really keeping Brainerd in check.
Now 3rd and very long, 3rd and 19 from their own 11-yard line.
Now this is a situation where you've got to cover your man. You can't let a play get up the middle. You've got to make sure you stop him here on 3rd down.
Sykes out wide to the right. He's got single coverage over there, and they're running it on 3rd and 19 straight up the middle, pickup of a couple.
Obviously, they want to obviously be conservative, which they are at this point, not risking a turnover by throwing the ball. But now it gives Coon Rapids the ball back with plenty of time left on the clock, and they're only trailing by 8. So if they offensively can get their act together, make sure that they don't turn the ball over, and get back into this game, you're a touchdown and a 2-point conversion away from tying it.
Goodman picked up 5, so it's 4th and about 14. So the kick from deep in his own end. Weiss gets a good kick off. Alkins will field it from just inside the 50, running right, finds some room on the sidelines, turning it up. He'll be pushed out of bounds inside the 40 of the Warriors, down close to the 35, so good field position for the Cardinals.
A great return by Jamel as he saw a little bit of a seam, sidestepped a little bit and used some of his speed to get some good yardage on that return. So now the Cardinals are in good situation here. They just have to be patient. There's plenty of time left in this game. Their defense is playing phenomenally. I can't get that one out. The defense is playing great.
Here we go. Jamel Alkins out wide to the right, Anchetta to the left. And the I formation in the backfield. Tight end lined up to the left. Handoff to Magnuson off the left side, and he'll pick up a couple, 3, maybe 4.
Almost a broken play there as Dan ran into Magnuson as he handed the ball off to him. But Eric was able to manage to get a pickup. Well, they're going to say 2 yards, but that looked like more than 2 yards on the play.
Looks like 3 to me, but we'll go with the scorekeepers. And again, I formation, Alkins to the right and Anchetta to the left. Again, Magnuson off the left side. This time he's got a couple more. And again, we might have a fumble. Brainerd pointing their direction. And they have the ball. 5th turnover of the game for the Coon Rapids Cardinals.
Well, Joe, you can't win a game if you turn the ball over. And in this situation, how many times they've given 3 opportunities to try and get back to this game? They're giving it back to Brainerd. This is a situation that I'm sure Coach Koppel obviously is extremely unhappy with. It's not something you can work on in game plans other than the fact that you got to hold the ball. You got to hold on to the ball, wrap both arms, especially on a fullback play like that. He's got to carry the ball with both arms, making sure if he's going to get hit, he's not going to drop that football.
So 6:15 to go in the game. And a handoff, and it looks like a stop in the backfield. Adam Hardy might have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, now that you're under 6 minutes or just around 6 minutes left in the game, the defense obviously, again, will have to make something happen because how many times can you give it back to your offense on a turnover? They're going to have to make sure that they do not allow Brainerd to get this 1st down, give them enough time to see offensively if they can try again to get something going.
Defense has played great here in the second half. They have not allowed the Warriors across midfield, and but now we see the offense just not able to get it going. Once again, hard hit by, this one is way overthrown, looking for Sykes.
It's actually a pretty smart play by Brainerd because they're really catching the Cardinals off guard by a pass like that. Every play that they've had since they've taken the ball over in this fourth quarter has been a run, and now they finally make a pass. Good coverage on the Cardinal defense, not allowing anything to be completed.
That'll bring up 3rd and 10. Trying to figure out where exactly they are. About their 26 maybe? Somewhere around there.
There's a 20, yeah, I think about 26, 27 yard line. So it looks like we're having a little misting rain again.
And now we see Jason Georges out wide to the near side. Man in motion is Sykes. Handoff is off the right side, and nothing there for Mike Weiss.
Okay, now you've got a 4th down. Obviously, it's a punting situation again. Going to give the ball back to the Cardinal offense. Coach Campbell has to find something in his bag of tricks to pull this game out. Plenty of time. Offense just needs to try and gain some confidence, and most importantly, Joe, hold on to that ball.
Jamel Alkins standing back just inside his own 40-yard line, but he's walking back, standing about the 37. Weiss in there, I think he's standing right around his 20, just inside his 20-yard line. Gets the kick off, good kick. Alkins will stop it and field it from the 35. And he gets out across the 40 to about the 42, and that's where the Cardinals will take over.
Okay, Joe, offensively, Cardinals need to be a little more aggressive. And I think what you're going to try and see here is maybe a little more on the passing game. The key to this passing game is to make sure you protect Dan Anderson on a number of things. Avoid the sack and make sure he doesn't get hit hard, because on a couple of situations and a couple plays before, he was hit very hard, and obviously you're not going to want to lose your quarterback in any situation.
Cardinals just 3 of 7 passing here in the second half. 2 receivers to the near side this time. Handoff is to Magnuson, and he will pick up about 3. He's out to about the 44. So we're down to about 4.5 minutes to go. The Cardinals are 56 yards away from the touchdown.
And the key is there's still plenty of time left with 4 minutes left in this game to go downfield and to do something.
3 receivers in, Rumsch and Alkins to the near side, Anchetta out wide to the left. Hendricks the lone setback, play action, thrown over the middle and intercepted.
And that interception was caused
by
the defensive line coming in and putting the pressure on Dan Anderson. I think he got rid of the ball a little bit quicker than he wanted to, realizing if he didn't get rid of the ball, he was going to be hit. And it was actually a great interception.
Nice diving catch by Carl Guard. And once again, the Cardinals, now the clock very much a factor. And now the Warriors with decent field position. They're out just inside their 40 at about their own 38-yard line.
I think that is the 6th turnover for the
You are correct. Sykes out wide to the right, full backfield behind Tadish. He hands it off just in time.
Andrew Carls for the Cardinals, number 93, got there just after Tadic handed the ball off. Just a half a step too,
Once
not
again,
quick enough.
Not a whole lot there for the running game, a pickup of a yard.
And the clock is continuing to run. 3.5 minutes left in this game. Cardinals desperately need a turnover.
Again, the wishbone formation. Sykes out wide to the left. Ricky Taylor watching him. Again, they run it up the middle. This time it's Goodman, and he fights his way for a couple, not many.
Now, Brainerd obviously just happy with continuing to run the ball, running the clock down. 3 minutes, 10 seconds left in this game. Cardinals need to make something happen. 3rd and 7, they stop them here. They're going to have to use their timeouts, and now we come back, Joe, where maybe their timeouts, the one they took earlier in this half, will come back to get them a little bit.
Again, the wishbone formation, and Seek is out to the far left. The pitch is to Weiss, and he's got some room on the outside, and he's across the 50, first down, and into Cardinal territory.
And that was a huge first down for Brainerd. He's able to pick that up. Now they'll be able to continue to run the clock.
Pickup of about 10 for Adam Hardy. That's his biggest, well, no, second biggest run of the day.
Defense was a little bit slow to react on that play. Just not, the pursuit was not there, not able to get over and quick in time to knock him out of bounds before he was able to gain that first down.
And now down to 2:45 with the clock stopped as he was pushed out of bounds. And another run play, this one to Hardy. Digger Anderson hits him, but he pushes Digger back, and he's inside the 45 for a pickup of another 5.
Now Brainerd just trying to use some power football just to control the clock here, knowing with an 8-point lead that if they just continue to hang on to the ball game is theirs. The Cardinal defense has played a stellar performance here tonight.
Second and a long 5. Seek is out wide to the right. Joel Rumpsch in single coverage on him. Cardinals line up with 6-7 men in the box. Hardy off to the right side. Dane Maxfield wraps him up along with Digger Anderson to keep him from getting more than a couple, and the Cardinals will take a timeout.
Now at this point, they have to take a timeout if they're going to, with third down and about 3 yards before Brainerd gets another first. They're going to have to take a timeout, regroup a little bit, plan a defensive play here, try and get the ball back to their offense.
And another big third down on the way for the Warriors, Howie. And we talked about it at halftime. We talked about it a little in the first half, and we've certainly talked about it since we came back here in the second half. The Cardinals can't stop the Cardinals.
No, and that's exactly what they're turning. 6 turnovers. That is far too many, and that's something Coach Koppel, I'm sure, is going to talk to his squad about. But they've had the opportunities down in the red zone to get back into this game. Turning the ball over has just really killed them.
And the defense has gotten them the ball back, forced a couple of turnovers here in the second half, given them the chance to tie this game up or maybe even take a lead. And the offense just has not been clicking here in the second half, and they haven't been able to do that.
No, and capitalization is what you want to do. You capitalize on your turnovers. You can't do that. You can't stay in a game. And that's certainly what the Cardinals are going to have to continue to work on. Obviously, it's the first game of the season. It's a non-conference game. Game's not over yet. I'm certainly not calling it a loss, but Coach Koppel will take some things from this game to work on for the conference opener next week.
On third and about 3. Diving over the left side, and it looks like he's got about 4 for the first down.
He does have the first.
Mike Weiss.
Mike Weiss is really all over the field on both sides of the ball, playing well defensively, running the ball, getting the yardage when they need to. He certainly is a playmaker here for the Warriors.
Clock stops momentarily as they move the chains, but first and 10 from the Cardinal 38 now for the Warriors. And I don't think you're going to see them hustling a whole lot.
Well, there's no reason for them to hustle, obviously. I believe that the Cardinals have 1 timeout left at this point. And so certainly at this point in the game, Brainerd has nothing to do but run the ball and run the clock out.
And that really is going to be the other key of the game, is how much they've been able to control. And there's a delay of game penalty, I think, coming up. Yep, delay of game against the Warriors, and why not? Well, don't forget the premiere of CTN Sports Night. That is this September 4th, Monday, and we will have highlights from tonight's game on that show.
Boy, you look tan there, or red. Did you eat a pepper?
Sunburned.
Did you eat a pepper before?
Might have been. I'm not sure. Can't remember that day. I might have just gotten back from a little day in the sun. I don't exactly tan well, Howie.
You turn red like me.
Yeah. More sunscreen, please. First and 15. The handoff is to Weiss. He's stopped up after a gain of about 3.
Yeah, we spent the summer in the tropics.
Yeah.
Just working on our tans to
well,
get
you
back.
know, Yeah, we make such great amounts of money covering the Cardinal athletics.
We figure the rates are better to go to the tropics. It's 110, 112 every day down there.
Tropical storm season. Weiss is out wide to the right. I don't think we're going to see him used as we're down to 45 seconds. The handoff is to Weiss. Sekas, was off to that side. A pickup of about 4 for Weiss.
Coach Koppa will go into next week with a number of things that he found out about his team. Obviously, his defense felt that it was the best that he's had since 1987. They've done nothing to let him down in that statement. And the offense moved the ball at times, but we'll go back to it. We'll harken back to the fact that they turned the ball over 6 times. They can't do that.
And penalties also a factor.
Penalties are a factor. Obviously, in a lot of key situations, you can't have those stupid penalties, and every team does them, and those are things that you work on. First game of the season, this is the first real competition that they've had. I think overall, with the exception of the turnovers, have played a pretty decent game, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think they found out that they can run the ball with Hendricks. They can force the ball up the middle with Magnuson. And, of course, Dan Anderson is an excellent passer. I think the biggest key to this season will be the protection of the offensive line. And if he can give Danny enough time to set up and throw the ball, this team will score some points.
Well, the Cardinals took time out to try and keep a little time on the clock, but that's going to be their last time out, Howie.
That will be, and in this situation on 3rd down and about 7, they'll be happy. Brainerd will be satisfied just to run the ball and let the clock continue to roll.
And Weiss rolls out. Cardinals can't quite get him to the sidelines, and there's a flag on the play. It's going to be a face mask.
It is going to be a face mask in a situation like that. At this point in the game, regardless, it's not a good penalty, but you just can't do that.
Well, that's just going to make it all that much easier for them to
run the clock out.
Run the clock out, yeah. It does stop the clock with 35 seconds, but so look at the upcoming schedule for Coon Rapids. They'll open their conference season at home against the Anoka Tornadoes. First chance they've had to see the brand new lights. And there's plenty of room in the brand new visitors bleachers for those pesky Tornado fans.
Absolutely, and always at those kind of matchups, a lot of fans come. And they did a really nice job. The lights are great. The new bleachers look really nice, and give the opportunity for more people to come into the stadium and watch a football game or a soccer game.
The following game should be very interesting. The Park Center Pirates, new to the conference, of course, the Northwest Suburban, rather than the Twin Cities Suburban, which hopefully you'll watch Sports Night, and we'll talk a little bit about that, get into what that means for Cardinals athletics, or maybe you tuned in, hopefully, to see Sports Talk over the summer. Had Dan Deneke and in to talk about the new conference and what that's going to mean.
I know you wanted me there, but I couldn't get my flight back from the tropics in time, and so.
Jim Norwick also joined us. He's the executive secretary, I believe, of the Northwest Suburban Conference. And nice conversation, and it should be interesting. Football, it will change a little bit. Cardinals lose big rivals in White Bear Lake and Stillwater,
right.
even Forest Lake. But, it should be very interesting to see, like, volleyball, where they're going to be doing double round robins, soccer. They're going to be seeing conference opponents twice, and so it should lend itself to an interesting season.
Exactly. I mean, we talked about it at one time, especially with, with situations where you see an opponent twice. You have to look at the way you handle that situation. Do you show everything you have in one game and save some things for the next, or whatever the situation may be?
Well, the clock is stopped with 24 seconds, and I'm not sure who stopped the clock here. I guess Brainerd must have. Well, I think it was the referees.
I think it was an official timeout at this point.
Stop the clock. I think this is going to be kind of a formality at this point.
Well, yeah, with 24 seconds left and no timeouts.
The only chance the Cardinals have is to cause a fumble
and run it in.
Well, they got time for a couple plays, but the only chance. I mean, it would be silly to think that the Warriors are even considering going to the air at this point.
Without a doubt, there's no way they're throwing the ball here. 3rd down. you run the ball. Even if you don't make the first down, you turn it over, and you give the Cardinals, with no timeouts, very little time left on the clock to go, 70 yards for a touchdown.
Now the clock's back to running. We're down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I guess that's the ball game.
Well, are you sure?
And now the Brainerd coaches are waving their team back onto the field, and now we have a minute back on the clock. And now we have a minute counting down.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but I'm sure.
I'm sure the clock had started to run when it shouldn't have,
Right.
and so they had to reset it to 1, and they are now resetting it to what the time should actually be. So that's what the holdup is.
Well, I think there was about 24 seconds left at the time they stopped the clock there. So I'm not sure exactly where they're setting it to.
And they're going to stop it now with 35 seconds left, because basically they started running the clock when they blew the whistle, not when the ball was snapped. But and now they start it. And I don't see what the not quite sure what the problem was there. As we've got one play left, down under 20 seconds. And this is going to be a handoff to Mike Weiss right up the middle, or actually around the left. He's going to be pushed out of bounds, but he got the first down.
It's going to be awful close.
9 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah,
and running it to the sidelines is a little confusing.
Yeah, I don't know why you just don't run it up the middle, regardless if you get the first down or not.
Well, at this point, you take a knee.
Yeah. Well, if they're going to run the ball, you don't run to the sideline. You run up the middle. You make sure
the first down.
Well, they're coming out. They're coming out to measure it.
No, they are. Well, he flipped it to first down already.
Just optimistic.
hometown chain operator.
Apparently so. That is a first down.
Just by about a half a ball, but that's enough.
And certainly hats off to the Brainerd team, because of all the opportunities they gave Coon Rapids to score, they held tough, and they've got that 8-point lead, and they've been running the clock down. They did exactly what they needed to do to finish off this game.
Yep, and they really, other than a couple of big plays, once again, they have not had an incredible game, and this time Tadish does take the
There's
knee,
your
and
knee.
There's the end of the game, but they all they needed was those couple big plays in the first half. Tadish connecting with Sekas, and then just able to keep the Cardinals from getting anything going.
Nice fireworks display.
Fireworks going off to celebrate the Warrior victory. And all they had to do was take those big plays and then hold the Cardinals off. And as we've mentioned several times, the Cardinals kind of killed themselves.
And a nice fireworks display to signify this Brainerd victory. And certainly not the way that the Cardinals wanted to start their season off. They wanted to come up to Brainerd with a road win to start the season, to go back into the conference. But now it's back to the drawing board for Coach Koppel to figure out what he needs to do to get this team back on track.
But I think as well, you saw some good things.
Absolutely saw some good things.
The Cardinal defense looked very strong throughout. And the Cardinal offense had moments.
The Cardinal offense had moments. Like we said, they found the fact that Hendricks can run the ball. They're happy with that situation. And it's just a matter of avoiding turnovers. And that's the situation. Obviously, you can't teach the fact that you got to say, hang on to the ball. What can you do? You've got to be able to wrap your hands around the ball. Sometimes a player is going to strip the ball. Sometimes it's going to hit it with their helmet, but you've got to protect that ball.
Absolutely. 2 interceptions in the second half, 1 in the end zone, and another fumble. 4 fumbles all day for the Cardinals. And I mean, if you're turning over the ball six times, and I think they had somewhere around 50 or 60 yards in penalties, you're not going to win many ball games if you're turning over the the ball over 6 times and getting 60 yards in penalties.
No, definitely not. And Brainerd gave them the opportunity to get back into this ball game. They just couldn't score, and that's something that Coach Koppel will go back and figure out what they need to do to get their offense in gear. Because we talked about it. This is a good offense. They can run the ball, they can throw the ball. They just need to have it go on all cylinders at all times.
And the Cardinal defense did an excellent job holding them to just those couple of big plays in the first half, and then coming out in the second half and creating a couple of turnovers and giving their offense a chance to tie the game, a chance to maybe even win this one.
Exactly. When the defense had to come up with a big play, they did. And so there again, you've got some great positives for this Cardinal team. You got some great positives on the offensive side of the ball, but there are those things you need to fine-tune for the game next week against Anoka.
And once again, it would actually be quite interesting to see how Brainerd plays throughout the season. They had a lot of good things happen and some bad things happen as well. There's a look for the Cardinals, what's coming up. Anoka on the 8th, and then they travel to play the Pirates on the 15th. And an interesting thing, a brand new conference, the Northwest Suburban, and the Cardinals would certainly like to be the first champion that the Northwest Suburban has ever seen. But they're going to definitely have their work cut out for them.
I think so too, but again, they've got the potential to do well in this conference, and it's basically starting off fresh next week. You've got the one loss, and that's something that they'll get over with, but coming back into the conference race is something that they obviously are going to have to start to focus on now.
Well, there you see a lot to talk about under the visitors' goalpost. There's the final score. The Brainerd Warriors 20, the Cardinals 12. They dropped the opener, but we'll see if they can pick it up next week. We'll be there. We want to thank all of you for joining us here at CTN Sports. Be sure to tune in for Sports Night starting on the 4th at 7:30, and that will run all week. And of course, our next televised game will be volleyball against Champlin Park. That will start running on September 5th at midnight. For all of us here at Coon Rapids, for the crew, for Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young saying good night.